Which MLB team has won the most World Series championships?
The Yankees.
Yes, very good.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, I know my MLB.
Do you?
Damn, full on, man.
Can you name me three other MLB teams?
The Red Sox, the Chargers.
No.
No, that's a local club in my area. That's all good. Anyway, welcome to the Glass Table, everyone. It's episode 2 of season 4. We're back after opening round. We've been able to open up the season, put it in a box, and tick it off and send it away. Post it, lick the stamp, and send it. We are back. Jared, welcome.
That's a lot of male terms early on in this one. It's very good to be back.
Yeah, welcome to Ant's Mailbag.
Glad to be here. Very good. End of opening round, which I think as of next year, I have this feeling that our opening round will cease to exist. Just a little feeling I own have here. But it's nice to be at the end of at least 5 games of real footy and to be doing it with you, which we watched a few of them, which is good.
Yeah, we definitely did. I watched all bar one. I think it was a Saturday game I missed out on, obviously with F1 being on, and I was obviously in Melbourne. I got to see you, which was fantastic, and watch the game together and everything. But we didn't watch this. Well, I didn't watch the Saturday one, which was fine. I was too busy watching George Russell put it on pole by about 8 minutes quicker than everyone else, which was fine. Um, but yeah, actually, the standard of footy got increasingly better since Thursday night. And I'll still stand by the fact that the SCG just brings everything to a whole lower level. Um, but overall, I was pleasantly happy with how everything turned out of opening weekend. We had, arguably the best game of the year and probably sewn up with the Lions and the Dogs. We had a good, hard fought, typical MCG contest between the Saints and the Pies. We had an almost good game between the Giants and
good,
Hawthorn,
good for three
which,
quarters.
yeah, I mean, that almost spelled out to be, we were almost about to get 150 to 130 at one point with the scoring. Friday night was a fizzler. And obviously, yeah, we watched what was supposedly an okay first half at the SCG, and Carlton caught the early flight, which was interesting. Um, but yeah, overall, how'd you find it? How was opening round for
You're
you?
absolutely right. I usually the first round of the year, I'm always looking at it and I'm like, oh, the quality's pretty poor just to start the year. But this one was actually pretty good, bar probably the first half of Sydney Carlton, which was like dreadful. Everything else from there was actually pretty good. Like decent skills, the ball's moving really, really fast. It's a point that I want to bring up a little bit later, but I think the rule changes, specifically one of them, has made the game so quick and it's good to watch. Like you talk about the Lions Dogs, and there is always one great game early in the year. There's always one where you're like, fuck, that's a good game. And this is the Lions Dogs one where it's so quick and the ball is just pinging back and forth. Giants Hawks was absolutely like that. Like you said, that 150 to 130 it was like on track for a while there. It was just flying. And I think we're seeing, except for that Saints Pies slugfest at the G, we're seeing the sort of the disposal numbers kind of drop a little bit, and that's because it's just going clearance goal, clearance goal. It's just flying down now. So like the disposal numbers are down, but it's just so exciting, I think. And it was actually like good quality footy. Still hate opening round, no doubt about that. Good quality footy though.
Definitely was. Some would say some performances were stupid sexy.
You're absolutely right.
Sing it, Homer.
Fantastic.
Stupid sexy.
Dropping in stupid sexy for opening round. Obviously, we can digest a bit more into everything that occurred over the weekend in a minute. But I thought we'd highlight a stupid sexy performance, and a couple of performances if you wanted to. So, was there anything in particular over the weekend that made you get a little bit firm in the midriff?
bit firm in the midriff, absolutely. This one, coming from my favorite game of the week, which is obviously Dogs Lions. Favorite game of everyone's week, to be honest with you, Dogs Lions.
Unbelievable.
This guy has had a pretty incredible sort of career surge in the last sort of year. I think it's like almost underrated. People rate this guy, but I think it's underrated how good he's gotten so fast because I think he like a lot of his teammates take a lot of the credit for what he well take a lot of the credit and rightly so in a lot of cases. But this guy stood up when it mattered and was massive in the Dogs win. And that's Ed Richards, 30 touches and 2 goals, and was just amazing. Like so good. I think people have been underrating him a little bit over this last little while, and I'm like, I just don't think you can keep doing that anymore because he just keeps on being incredible. He had so many score involvements over the weekend. He took the piss. I'm pretty sure he was still assisting goals in the fucking Saints Pies game the day after, like because he was just everywhere. He was literally everywhere all over the park, and I thought he was incredible. And he's just a very good footballer, and rarely puts a foot wrong. 16 score involvements, ridiculous.
He generally is outstanding. I think he might be, when it comes to conversations, he's not going to be the big name. He's not the Bond, he's not the Dacos, he's not the Butters or so forth. But he's just class above, I think,
Yeah,
not in terms of they're better and whatever, but he has his own category. Like his ability to hit the scoreboard and be damaging, but also be involved. His left foot's amazing. He knows how to get the footy, and it's just so impressive to watch. And I think it's just one of those things where you sit there and go. There was a conversation, and Dwayne Russell, I have a interesting relationship with Dwayne Russell in terms of his commentary work, and they were trying to compare Ed Richards and Zach Bailey as the same player, and I was like, I see where you're coming from, but there is just no way that Zach Bailey is in the class of Ed Richards,
no, no,
and I understand that Zach Bailey is going to be that next sort of thing, but Ed Richards is phenomenal, and I think
so good.
he's a damaging footballer where if you're having 2 goals as a midfielder, having 30 touches and 726 meters gained, my favorite stat in footy, man.
Yeah, it's always a good one, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. He's so damaging. He's that sort of player that Hugh McCluggage was for the Lions last year. In that, like Lockie Neal's going to get the
Yes.
credit, and these kinds of players, and like that's like Bont in that midfield for the Dogs. But Hugh McCluggage is so damaging, and Ed Richards is that. If and like it was the case last year. If Hugh McCluggage played incredible footy, the Lions won the game. If Ed Richards plays good footy, the Dogs win the game. So I just think they're that player where it's like you've got to do something about him because he's so good. And I loved everything he did.
I completely agree.
Yep. What is your super sexy performance of the week?
I got a one big one and a little honorable mention because it was just simply a conversation I had in a hotel room on the weekend. So
Yep.
I will get to that in a second. But I wanted to highlight same game. In particularly, I think the goal that he kicked was honestly one of the best things I've seen. And when I say that, I mean that's accelerated by a lot of drinking, but that's fine. Bailey Williams, I think he's a
Yep.
very one of those footballers that just if he's probably he plays for the Dogs,
Yep.
right? But he does so much more than just be a name on a piece of paper, and I think he showcased that on Saturday night. His ability to be that wing role, be effective to go play predominantly in the defensive 50 as well and help transition the footy, but then also be able to hit the scoreboard. He only got 4 at 25 touches. And that one goal he kicked was honestly an audition tape for Dancing with the Stars. He was Twinkle Toe Williams, like Trick Williams,
Yep.
it could be his name. Like he was just lemon pepper steppers he had, and they were phenomenal. And I just think that goal, it just encapsulated everything about this game. It was keeping you on your feet. It was just magnificent, and he deserves a massive shout out. I think he's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and it's gonna be take a lot to beat that for goal of the year. I think they'll manage to find some bullshit fucking Anderson out of the middle shit like they did last year. But that is going to take a lot to beat in terms of a goal of the year. Like he was just incredible, and like to do that in front of a Gabba crowd that like that's away from home too. It's very special. And you're absolutely right. Bailey was one of those guys where it's like he would be so highly rated internally that he's not rated enough like externally kind of thing. And then players that are like that are so highly rated internally eventually start to get expanded on and like get the wider love. And I think this is probably the year that that's going to happen. I think this year Bailey Williams is going to start getting wider love than he has previously because the Dogs would have just loved him so much for so long, and now it's going to kind of grow a little bit, I think. And yeah, he was fantastic as well on Saturday. Two massive reasons as to why the Dogs were good. You look at Bont and things like that as good enough. Obviously, they were still great, but those two guys are huge in this.
Phenomenal. He was great, and um, yeah, couldn't fault that from Bailey Williams. The other honourable mention I wanted to have was I love him already. I think he's coming into the category of my favourite players in terms of I've already mentioned him before, like your Sam Darcy, your Rowan Marshall, your
Mm.
Jason Horn Francis, and so forth. But Jasper Fletcher is a fantastic
Yeah,
footballer, very stupid sexy. And I had a conversation with a mate in a hotel room. Shout out to uh, Jacob who listens to the show. He we both he picked him up in his fantasy team, and I said he's a pretty damn good player, and turned him in. He went, some would say stupid sexy. So yeah, I just wanted to give that a nod. So well done, Jasper Fletcher.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, overall, coming out of opening round, um, did you have any sort of changes in terms of how you feel about certain teams? Because there's one point, we obviously not going to do it this week. We're going to do it with the more games that we get. But there's sort of a couple of notes I did say, I wrote down. Obviously, we're going to do some takeaways and stuff as we go through the year. But you just can't write them off anymore. And they're the same two teams every single time that you just say, nah, they're going to be shit. And I have to bite my tongue here because I put them both out of the 8 and out of the 10, and they've just shown up with half a team on a field, and they are the point provers. And I talk about GWS and Collingwood, and I think their performances just showcase teams that just don't understand. No, sorry, I should take that back. Not teams, people that aren't part of the club. They don't understand. You can never truly grasp
Yeah,
how good a talent pool you have until they are tested. And GWS and Collingwood, time and time again, find
every
a
time.
way to do it. And it's
Every single
just
time those two.
sickening.
It's ridiculous to me. Yeah, like I never entirely wrote off Collingwood in terms of I know like I've always said, if you have Nick Dacos on your team, you're always going to be pretty good. I think, and
Uh,
you have Dacos, you have Pendlebury, you have those guys. You're going to do a fair bit of damage, which is so fair. Again, like didn't have their two massive key defenders, and they still managed to pull out a win, which was just incredible from the Pies. But the Giants for me were the big like, oh shit, they're still really good kind of thing because obviously a lot has been made of their injury list, and they have a massive injury list at the moment. The fact they were able to pull out a win like that was incredible. The fact that they were able to get performances out of the likes of Riccardi and Stringer, who are both sort of very on and off footballers, but just both hit their straps at the same time. Jesse Hogan would have been laughing. He's like, fuck, how good is this? Like, we're all just taking the piss out here. Like, it was incredible to see all those guys sort of come together in that way, which was just amazing, I think. And looking at like the players they had out there still, it made me realize like they still have a really talented team on the park. Like that midfield still have Canelio, who might not be the Canelio of 2019, say, still a very good footballer. They have Finn Callahan, who is just continuing to rise and rise and rise. They have Joe Fonte, who is starting to take the piss a little bit. He's starting to be really, really good. Clayton Oliver, who is actually younger than I had thought, to be completely honest with you. And I'm like, you're actually, and like I was one of those ones where I was like, I don't think he was ever terrible. Even last year, I was like, he's not playing amazing, but he's still okay. And he's just proving now he just needed that bit of change of pace. They still have a really great team, the Giants, and
mhm.
that made me realize, like, yeah, they're still really, really, really gonna punish some teams this year, I think. And the Hawks look slow sometimes, and that's rare to say. With the team that has fucking Josh Weddle running around, they made the Hawks look pretty slow, and I was like, that's interesting to me. So the Giants for me were my big like, oh shit, they're pretty good.
Definitely had that same thought, and I was like,
Yeah.
geez, I just sat there on Saturday at the track, and everything was all going on, and just seeing the score updates coming through, and the Giants just kept peppering them. They just continuously worked their way through, and I love that because you have a narrative so set in mind coming into the year. You believe what you see, and the Giants just come out and say, "Now stuff you." And you mentioned Stephen Cornelio, and I love that you mentioned an elder statesman who stands up in the face of
Mm.
adversity because he's been through the ringer himself in terms of injuries and stuff that's been happening. And for him to come out with so many of their players missing and coming back later on in the year, like he just stood up, had 22, kicked two, was phenomenal. And
Yeah.
you throw that to Scott Pendlebury for the Pies, and it's like another elder statesman, champion of the game, he's played 740,000 games, plays half a game of footy, 55% game time, and has 26 touches. It's like, and those touches were impeccable.
Impactful.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they
100%.
were fantastic. And it's like, I, the football narrative of the world is very funny to me, and you can never truly pinpoint exactly what's going to happen. And it's great to see that people stand up.
You can't pinpoint exactly what's going to happen. However, let's go back to Tuesday last week when this episode gets released. No, sorry. Let's go back to the bold predictions video getting released. And I come out and say, this is the year of the sun. And I don't really get, I don't get people agreeing with me necessarily, but everyone's like, really? How good's Brisbane look? Cats will still be pretty good, whatever. And then the Suns come out and they do that. And all of a sudden, now everyone's like, oh, the Suns have got it fucking wrapped up already. And I was like, guess who was onto it first, bitch? I was onto it first. Me. I said it. I fucking knew this was going to happen. I called it from fucking months ago. I said, I knew this was going to happen. They didn't have the Brownlow medalist out there. And they took the piss. I literally wrote down in my notes, Bailey Humphrey looks like Dusty because he looks like Dusty. He's taking the piss. This team is ridiculous. Like, I don't want to go too early, but this team is fucked. They're going to win 1,000,000 flags. They're not going to lose. It's fucking ridiculous. They're so good. We were sitting there on Friday. This is the game we watched together on Friday, and we were just like, "Oh, this is getting ridiculous now." Mac Andrew nearly fucking. If there was a roof at people first, he was going through it. It was ridiculous. It was just that game. I did not even come out of that being like the Cats don't look any good. My Cats opinion stayed exactly the same as it was. My Suns, if anything, went higher, and I fucking nearly tipped him for the flag. So I don't know how much higher it can get.
No, it's just they have a yeah, that's a cheat code.
It's fucked. Like, oh, good
Every
lord.
year to do it. I think this is definitely. It's just like how ridiculous you can just show up, and I love like the new recruits for every club that came out over the weekend. Yeah, I think that were
It
all
was actually
showed.
great across the park. Yeah, it was like pretty
Yeah,
good performances across the park from all the new guys.
I don't think there was anything remotely questionable about how everyone sort of performed. I think they were phenomenal. But Christian Petrarca, good God, did he cook up a storm? Like,
God, he looked good.
yeah, that Gold Coast sun has hit the sweet spot. Like, that's a Moray track.
When did he learn how to kick? Even when he was at his best, he didn't really know how to do that. And now he's like lacing people out and he's just dotting them from everywhere. And I'm like, how did you do that? Like, when did you learn how to do that?
Mm.
So weird. He's so good, though. Like, controversial opinion. Matt Rao might not get back in the midfield. Player trade at the VFL rally. See you in 5 weeks or whatever. Oh boy.
It's just like when you have a game like that, play and you look at the stats, and then you just see Mac Andrew have 26 touches. Like
Yeah.
what? But what's going on? What's going
Like
on? Like it's just
Rioli and Noble were two players that were free. Like, admit like Noble's not a premiership player, but like like he played in the side of the year that that team won the flag. Rioli was probably like the 22nd best player in those premierships for the Tigers, and they are both just taking the piss at the Gold Coast, and it's like, what is going on? Like, how are they getting? That's what is just ridiculous to me. People like obviously there's a lot of complaining at the moment about like the Northern States and stuff like that, and people being like it's ruining footy, and I agree to an extent in the terms of like they have like the Suns stacked, and that's just ridiculous. But also, they have done an incredible job at getting the best out of the players that they have brought over. Like when Noble and Rioli joined, it was like, are they really needle movers for this team? Yes, apparently. Yes, they are. So I don't know. It's very good though. Very, very good by the Suns.
just it's their defensive half is something I did pick up on because you mentioned Noble and Rioli. They both had mid-20 in the disposal category, but so did Joel Jeffrey. So did uh, Will Power. He's at 19. Bodie Ewan's at 19. Sam Closey's at 19. These blokes are touching the pill for fun. Like
Sam
it's
Collins took the piss. Sam Collins took the piss. It was great.
yeah,
Oh.
they're yeah. Like it's just
Ben King
I
barely touched the footy and he still kicked four. Like he didn't even go near it, but every time he got near it, it was a goal because they were kicking it to him in the perfect position. Like, oh man.
I just want to say we mentioned Bailey Humphrey before being prime Dusty now. I'm all in because I've been all in since
Since day
day
dot.
dot.
Since day dot with that
Yeah. I watched him grow up. You know,
man.
I see him learn to drive. Just good
Yep.
football. Good football. Love your call. I'm glad you're sticking it to it. Stick it to the man. Do you want to take
Yep.
anything back about the Saints though? Like, it's that like winning a lot, a bit of a
Yeah. Well, like I was saying pre this, obviously it was disappointed that we lost. But it wasn't like I don't think it was like a damaging to the psyche kind of loss. It was kind of one of those ones where it's like, all right, we know where we're kind of standing, kind of thing. I suppose. Like if we went out there and got thumped, I'd be a very different person, right? I'd have a very different demeanor. I feel very differently about everything. But like we still had players where it's like you look at that and it's like, okay, that's fine. I will cop. That's one of those losses that I can take. We lose to Melbourne next week. That's where I'm like, all right, we're getting a bit A going. But like, the players that I wanted to see play well played well. Tom De Koning was fantastic. He was amazing. Jack Silvani was great. The two co-captains and Wilkie and Sinclair both incredible. So I thought Flanders showed signs. People are talking shit about Flanders' game. I thought he was still good. Liam Ryan, while he wasn't in it a lot, still got a lot of still kicked a great goal and then really got the crowd into it in the last quarter that almost got us over the line. So like everyone that I needed to see do something did something, I think, which is being like, that's fine. All good. I'm okay with that.
so I think the one thing I sort of took out of the game was like it's one of those things like you can have all this practice, you can have all this training, but until you have that proper feel of exactly the competition you're up against and being in the moment in the game, you won't truly know what right mix you want to use and what you want to have. And I think the midfield particularly, it did seem like Collingwood were very settled in the way they were using the midfield, their structures and everything. And I think there would have been 9 or 10 blokes from the Saints that went through the CBAs. Like it's,
Yeah.
and I think whilst that's a good, it means you've got flexibility. I think having a bit of consistency might be one of those things that does play mine. It's not a bad thing. It's like you've got
Yeah.
Flanders, Windhager, you can throw Naz in there, who I thought, yeah, I was expecting a little bit more from that.
Yeah, it was his first time he's really copped like a tag, like a legitimate man on man tag kind of thing. And so it's definitely interesting for him to it's something he's going to cop a lot this year, I think. So it's something that he's obviously going to work through and like get a lot of coaching and training to work through. You're absolutely right about the CBAs. I think that's like a chemistry thing as well. You bring in four new
Yes. Yeah.
guys. Yeah, like, I think there's been a massive reaction to like you lose the first game and it's like, oh, all these big money recruits, what's going on, kind of thing. It's like they've never played a game altogether. like Silvani didn't play against Essendon. Like they didn't even have like a practice match with all four of them out there for that long. Silvani played half a quarter against the Suns before he was like got a concussion. So like it's just that chemistry, figuring out what works, figuring out what doesn't. Like, I think this game said more about how consistently great the Pies have been and continue to be rather than a Saints thing. Because I don't think the Saints played bad at all, really. There was some skill errors that were probably there, which is like I said, there were every chance to win this game of footy, but they miss a few shots in front of goal. They, stuff up a few handballs kind of thing. And Collingwood being the very professional team that they are, which I think you tweeted on Sunday, which I think was just great. They are so professional that they will punish if anything goes wrong. And that was what they did. And it just said a lot about just you can never, and you said it last week in the video, and I watched it again not that long ago. You said it, you can never write off the Pies. You just can't do it. So I was very impressed by what I saw from Collingwood.
Yeah. One thing I did want to talk about the recruits actually and sort of go through all of them. Maybe we can do that just before we get through everything else. But the one thing I'm so happy about, and I'm not happy about it because we lost him as a Port Adelaide fan, but the one thing that Collingwood did over preseason, and they finally figured it out, is Dan Houston is not an accessory. Dan Houston is a focal point. And it's amazing when you go to the footy and you're in neutral and you actually just watch the game for the sake of it. You watch it on TV and it's one of those things you just watch the game and you're just watching the narrative of how it unfolds. But if you watch players specifically and you're watching movements and you're looking, you can pick out little patterns and have a football brain is a beautiful thing because I'm watching the first quarter and I'm saying, well, the first half, and I'm looking at it going, Dan Houston's had a few. He's had a few more. And I'm just watching his positioning. He's intercept marking across halfback. He's then getting switch kicks along the wing. He's now setting up directions inside 50. He's lacing people out. Dan Houston's back. Like that was a typical Dan Houston All-Australian performance, and that will get lost in Nick Dacos's 41 touches. That'll get lost in Josh Dacos's fantastic performance. Braden Maynard, Pendlebury, they'll all highlight the big names for Collingwood, but Dan Houston's performance, he generally cut it up, and it was very, very good to see because I think Dan Houston to me is one of the most aesthetically pleasing players to watch.
Great kick, just a great kick of the footy.
It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing, and I think he deserves a bit of flowers. And if he's back, then Houston, the comp has a problem.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was very, very good.
So, I wanted to have you that, but obviously the round was fantastic, and we very much enjoyed it. And yeah, I think the overall success of opening round is I still hate it very, very much when we talk about them coming out and going, oh, Adelaide won next year. Perfect time to do opening round next year because I think you could get away with doing it again because of the centenary test and also the fact that,
sure.
You could have just a game in Adelaide. Maybe the Sunday night is Adelaide versus.
Yeah, I think rather than doing an MCG game, you do like an Adelaide Oval one. You could even just do like a showdown opening round. You get it out of the way. You go, here's your showdown, Adelaide Port, Adelaide Oval. You'll get 1 million people there. It'd be the biggest game ever. So yeah, that's what you could do. You could just replace the MCG one with the Adelaide one. That's a probably better business model in terms of it's just keeping them happy. And then if they were to somehow keep opening round again the year after, then you do it WA. You make it a derby. So I don't know. There's ways to do
it. Yeah. But preferably my way would be pull 18 motherfuckers on the team,
Yeah, I was gonna say, how about we just all play and we just call it round one and everyone's fucking happy at the same time.
Yeah, correct. Other than that, it was a good weekend. It was a good round. All the recruits from the start of Charlie Curno's career as a Swan, and I loved it was like, Tony Lockett, Buddy Franklin, and now Charlie Curnow.
Fucking crazy. Yeah.
But I honestly think that mindset was like, oh, Charlie
They're
Kerno is
they're
now a bigger
ahead of
player.
him. Mm.
Yeah, he's a bigger player now because he's at the Swans
Yeah,
than he was at Carlton. And he's like,
profile
oh,
goes
Charlie
up,
Kerno. Hmm.
100%.
Yeah. So does the Sydney Tax. So
I thought actually, like on Charlie's game, I thought he was really damaging in the first quarter. And then like he just looked like he was in a really damaging position. He was like bringing the ball to ground, he was taking decent marks, and I was like, Charlie looks like he's on for a big one. And then he really went quiet in the second, and I was like, maybe this is getting to him. And then I think like obviously he didn't kick all the goals in that third quarter thing, but I just think like his presence really assisted that 12 goal burst by the Swans kind of thing. And then he got inside and he started kicking a couple himself, and it was like, all right, here we go. Like there's the Charlie you sort of know and love. It was just very, I don't know. It kind of like made me feel like, oh, this is a nice little thing to see because he kind of just looked like he was happy. Like Charlie didn't look like that at all last year. He just looked like he was having a good time. Like he was just getting around the boys. I don't know. I just thought it was
mm.
pretty funny and yeah, it was interesting to see Charlie playing okay footy again, which is good.
We're overreacting and we're just going to get a Sydney versus Gold Coast grand final.
Maybe, but I'm almost certain that Gold Coast are going to be there, so we can pencil that one in. Uh, Sydney, I don't know because even still, like their first half on Thursday was pretty shit. So if
That's true.
they have that against a team like Brisbane or Gold Coast or even like Geelong or something like that, they're not going to get away with doing what they did. So I don't know. Like I still think they're going to be very good this year, Sydney, but Gold Coast on the other hand. See you the end of September. Suns.
Say what, you're on a hater at the moment if you think about it. You tipped the Dogs to get up and they
Good
did.
tip.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I accidentally wrote down I tipped the Dogs too, but I'm claim it, so that's a good thing.
Very nice.
Um, but yeah, other than that, it was a very nice weekend, and I thought we would roll in because it was a very very nice touch to the centerpiece that was the Lions versus Dogs game and the ending of that game in particular.
Yeah.
Beautifully called by Anthony Hudson. It was a direct nod to Dennis Cometti, who we unfortunately lost last week, and I think it did feel like, in a weird way, having Dennis's loss last week was a beautifully poetic moment to lead into opening round because it was a homage we could play to him in the sense of let's play footy for the greatest caller of all time.
Yeah.
And I think it was perfectly done. And we know there's thousands of tributes. There's different things um, that people do for Dennis. So we thought we'd come up with some of our best calls. And you have a beautiful quote that I think encapsulates exactly what we can do for Dennis.
Yeah, well, we were talking about like how, how do you best sort of talk about Dennis in a way? And like, we've done like our favorite commentators on this thing, like when we both have the shared opinion that Dennis is just the GOAT. Like he's the number one guy always. But the thing with Dennis is, he's always known for his one-liners and things. I said that it's almost distasteful to rank Dennis's, you know, best calls or best one-liners because he's more than a ranking. It's more than this was better than that because every line that he's ever said has meant so much to so many different people. And like he's, his sense of humor is something that is so widely known. But like even just little things and like you don't even think about them. Like, when Dennis passed, the immediate thing that I think of, obviously, there's the classics, but he commentated Rewald's Back with a Flight mark where he takes out Stephen Milne and all he says is look out, and it's just like it's so perfect because Rewald's like a steam train running back the other way. It's just those little things where like he is so iconic. And I said it's not great to rank them. And I say you just go back and think how good was this one, how good's this one, and you go because I think it's amazing.
It's a perfect thing that you say because just just I just think there's no set ranking for Dennis. It's more each club and each fan will have an individual moment with Dennis that you just live by and you hear. And I think his impact of his commentating is that deep that every time the pill will bounce at a different angle or at right angles on the ground, you just think
Oh,
of Dennis Cometti screaming, "It's gone down at right angles. It's gone at right
yeah,
angles, Tim." And I'm talking
yeah,
about Angus Monfries kicking that goal in the showdown,
of
which
course.
led to one of the greatest showdowns of all time. And he has a moment for every club, and I think
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing. And
that was
it's
something I noticed when the tributes were coming out. Is every club had one. Every club had like a really great one, and like every player, there was a quote during the week where it was like it's like an honor to have a moment of your history called by a player like a person like Dennis, because like there's just one for everyone. It's so good. Like he just has amazing, amazing moments. And yeah, like I said, I think of it's those little things where that rewalt mark is so great, but you add the Dennis commentary where it's like the oh look out, and it just adds like so much to it. It's great. I think it's so good.
I might list off a couple more because
Yeah.
I've got five here. Um,
Yeah.
should we go back and forth in terms of some
Yeah,
good ones that we've
absolutely.
got?
100%.
Uh, I'll kick it off because he had a mixture of iconic moments. Talk about grand finals and talk about
Yeah.
big after the siren winners and everything. I do have those sort of written down, and right angles was the first one that comes to mind. But
Of
another
course.
Port Adelaide one for me was I generally laugh, and I love commentary where it's joking and it's a funny. There's some funny comments about it, and it's like enjoyable. It
Yeah.
makes the game more lighthearted. And it's a deep, deep moment. Freo played Port at Amy Stadium 23 years ago. And obviously we had Josh Carr playing, and then he had his brother Matthew Carr playing at Freo. and and they've come together. They've tackled each other, and Dennis has gone. Oh, we've had a car crash in the middle of the ground, and both of them have the same rego.
It's very good. It's a fucking amazing one.
It's like just so funny. Like, and it's just quick witted, and he was just iconic at that.
Yeah, my one that's great is like it's so you you think like you'd have them rehearsed, but I don't know. But it's the one where Camden McIntosh is chasing down Brad Hill, and it's like they say it's easy to run downhill. Tell that to McIntosh, and that's just so funny to me. Like I just he just has to think of it on the fly. Like he had to have such a specific moment in mind where someone is chasing Brad Hill down the wing, and he had to think of it. I think that's so funny to me.
It generally was, and like you talk about, um, how he could encapsulate a player's moment,
Yeah.
and I talk about like where the West Coast Eagles, Nick Naitanui kicking that winner after the siren against North, and
Yeah.
he's just like you said before, look out, and
Yeah.
he screams it, but in a way where it's at a time where it's not deafening.
Yeah.
It's how you'd feel in the emotion, and
Yeah.
it's like and it just screams the name Nat Nui,
I
and
knew
it
it.
just
It's so
marks.
so good. Yeah, it's always fantastic. Like another one with a run where, like I said, there's his knowledge and his brain of just like all sports, not just AFL, but like all sports, like the grand final, the middle of the biggest game of the year, and Jetta and Rioli are running down the wing, and Jetta breaks through, he gets the kick away, and he just goes, Jetta wins the gold. And it's just like, that's so funny to me because his mind is just entirely on a different sport. Like, he's forgotten it's the grand final. He's just like, Jetta wins the gold. And it's just incredible. I love that so much.
It was, yeah, he I don't think I've watched so many tributes.
Oh,
Listened to
yeah.
all the commentating ones and everything like that he did. It was very, very enjoyable. I think he talked about that grand final. It was 2012, I believe.
Yep. Yep.
Same grand final, and Nick Malczewski kicks the winning goal, and he just says simply, "Sydney are premiers."
Yeah. Sydney are premiers.
Like, not even the siren's gone, but the game's done, and he's just there's your highlight.
So similar to the end of the Dogs one, where he goes, the stadium holds its breath, and then it's a goal, and then he goes, and the western suburbs erupt, like just like this. He knows when to call a game. He knows like this is when the game's ended, and he said like this Boyd goal is when it's ended. He said the Malcheski goal is where it's ended. Like he knew when it was ending, and he had it perfect. Obviously, the famous one in the grand final, which this was something that's even so crazy to me is like when this happened, even Saints fans everywhere were like, even though that call is against us, they stuck up behind him like a librarian. He never heard him. Even though it's against us, it is still such a great commentary line because you just like can't stop thinking about it. Like, it's great. It's probably his most famous one in terms of gets quoted the most. Gets brought back the most just because of the moment and everything like that. Just so good, so good.
And he even called the Jack Nunes one. I think it was the winning
Yeah,
goal after the siren
yeah,
for Triple M, which was very, very funny.
yeah,
But he had little quirky things, and I think to sum it all up, you mentioned the dogs one, but there was one in particular. I can't remember what highlight it is exactly, but it sticks with me. And I remember a player running down the wing, and he's like, "All right, he's taken off. He's going to take a couple of bounces," and the player only takes one bounce, and there's a bit of
yeah.
silence, bit of pause, and he goes, "Oh, he had one."
Just the little ones. The little ones are always good. Sometimes he had his best when he just like when he either wasn't commentating or like he wasn't meant to say anything else anymore, and then he was just like, "Oh, I'll just come in with one more comment," kind of thing. Like when Luke Hodge runs down that player, he goes, "He should have heard the Norma Spitz jangling." Like it was just one of those things where I didn't even think he was calling the play, and like you can hear the other commentators laughing with him because he just like thought it was so good, and he just like I said, his sense of humor is incredible. It was very very good.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic, and you always have those little ones that link back to your club, and it was because Dom Cassisi one where he's lining up for goal, and we were pumping Hawthorn on a Friday night. This is the one where we won by 100. It's our largest winning margin, largest score ever in a game, and Dom Cassisi kicks a goal, and it's just silence because we're 80 up, and he just goes, "Dom Cassisi kicks the goal," and he goes, "Just wouldn't want to mess with him. He knows the mafia."
Always good.
Oh yeah, because he followed it up with the Dom father.
Yeah. Very good. It's always a good one. Fuck, he's just great. We can talk about this literally for hours, but my last one that I'll say is probably my favorite one ever that he's done, where he talks about Adam Uze and he just goes, "Great player, bad Scrabble hand." Just genuinely like the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like it's just like that is so funny. Like just great player, bad Scrabble hand. Like so good.
It's so good because and his final call with seven and everything like that was amazing with the dog grand final. But it's just one of those things where no matter where he was, 9, 7,
Yeah.
Triple M, Olympics, it was just the same. He
Yeah.
was great with Eddie early days, and that's what we grew up with Friday night footy. Then he went with Bruce, which was the magic duo. And sometimes his Sunday afternoons with BT on Channel 9 were hilarious. Him, Derm, Gary Lyon, and BT.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, we can list him off, but it's going to be missed, Dennis. And I think those comedisms will be something we will look back on time and time again.
100%. And I think nothing sums it up more than one of my favorite commentary lines. It's not even from him, but it is about him. And it's Buddy running down the wing at the SCG. And it's Bruce just saying, "Where are you, Dennis? I need you right now." So amazing. Like that alone, I would almost include it in this list because it's just like, how good is that? Like, that's how good a commentator is that his longtime calling partner was like, "I need to call back to how good this guy is because like he is the voice of footy and everyone will appreciate that." So what a guy, what a life. And I know Channel 7 are making there's a documentary coming out very soon, I think, the Dennis documentary, and that's gonna be great to watch. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
And if you're not a big Dennis know of and you're getting into footy or you're young growing up and you don't quite know the Dennis Cometti name, then I'll quote the great man and wrap up this segment by simply saying, put in Dennis Cometti your search engine, Google it.
Very good.
Farewell, Dennis. We're going to get into the opening round. We're done with opening round. We're going to get into round one.
The dips.
Unless there was anything else you wanted to talk about.
Nah, everything else is good. Now we're into some real footy, which is exciting. All the teams are playing this week. Yay! That was the one thing I did miss. Sunday afternoon, I was just sitting around and I was like, "Where's my 1 o'clock footy?" I was sitting at home and I was like, "I want 1 o'clock. Give me my game."
I know, I caught myself watching the Paralympics.
Had the rugby on, and I was like, "I like the rugby, but I like this more." 1 o'clock footy, and then I look at
Give
1 o'clock
me.
this week. North versus Port. Fuck.
Yeah, sorry to disappoint. Could
Uh,
I'll get to that in a second. I've got a fucking gripe with that. I know not every team can be great, but Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, we kick it off. The traditional round one opening of Carlton v Richmond. Now, 12 months ago. 12 months ago. We sat here and we were like, surely Carlton should win this game.
Blues by 1,000,000. That's what we said.
They were up by 40. There was no chance in hell Richmond could win that game. And they did after being 40 points down. We know what Richmond's going to be like this year. And we just sort of got a taste of what Carlton can do last week. And I think there's enough there to suggest there might be slight improvements. They only played a half a footy. Could it be again? Could
A
it be?
lot of me wants to tip Richmond, but I just think it can't happen 2 years in a row. Last year was the bigger upset. If Richmond won it this year, it would still be a massive upset, but it wouldn't be on the scale of last year's one. I think two in a row is just too far a stretch for the Tigers. I like Carlton. Carlton didn't look like Carlton for a half. Actually, I thought looked pretty good. Like their ball movement was nice and sort of solid. If they could just maintain that, and the Sam Doherty comments over the weekend were very dire, but like I think it's going to light a bit of a fire under him to prove him wrong and to sort of prove the footy public wrong a little bit more. I think the Blues win this one, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any stretch. I think the Blues win it. I think it's going to be 20 points. And I just think, I think they will show enough to be like, we're okay. Like, it's not that bad. Let's calm everything down a little bit.
I'm all for that. I don't completely agree. I think Carlton will win by 15. It'll be a nice, good. It's going to back up my point, at least, by saying that Thursday night footy would be good. So, didn't start off that well, but
Yeah, not a great start to your year. Although, it was actually entertaining in its own way. 12 goals in a quarter of footy is an entertaining thing to happen. So that's okay. It wasn't a good game, but that was at least entertaining to watch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, you know, no, I've got no backing up on it. It was actually
Yeah, fair
generally,
enough.
yeah, no, it was just, yeah, we're on the phone. Well, it was, yeah, it is what it is. What can you do? Friday night,
Yep.
we're heading off to watch Essendon Hawthorn. We're gonna now. Very funny to me that they announced that Zach Merritt was gifted a Hawthorn
That
Guernsey.
was so funny. I saw that yesterday. That's fucking hilarious. Good sense of humor by the Dons boys. Well done. Very funny.
I like it's just hilarious. Imagine after all that when they end up just coming out and winning this Essendon.
I think Hawks fans, any Hawks fans that are listening to this, I think it'd be really funny if you give Zach Merritt extra cheers when he gets the ball on Friday. I think that'd be really funny if, when a player, like a former player, gets the ball and you boo them. I think it'd be really funny if he got continuous cheers. He gets the ball and everyone just loses their mind. I think that'd be really, really funny to me, and I hope that happens.
I think it'd be even funny if they cheer him every time he hits up a Hawthorn play, like a turnover.
Turns the ball over and it's like, yes!
You should have been doing that in the colours.
That's good.
I see a bit of a glimpse in terms of thinking that Essendon could cause a round one upset. We've seen a couple, and there's always a chance, especially the way Hawthorn played. But I do sense that the Hawks might just come back and I think oh God, Sam Mitchell's going to have to use a new AI engine, but I think I think you'll find a plan to work it. So I'm going to tip the Hawks here, but I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think the first couple of games here are quite interesting to suggest that we might get some good couple of games of footy to kick off round one. I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm tipping the Hawks.
I agree in that I don't think this game's going to be a blowout like it had originally sort of looked at. If the Hawks had belted the Giants last week, I'd be looking at this game like, fuck, this is going to be a grim viewing. But like a few Hawks guys didn't really do all that much. Like I was talking about before, Josh Weddle really didn't touch the ball that much. Dylan Moore was pretty disappointing. Carl Amon was pretty disappointing. Like there was a lot of sort of like guys, the usual suspects for the Hawks that I think will try and come out and be like, we need to put a decent performance out there, kind of thing. But like the signs that I saw from Essendon, like even in the preseason, like I don't think they're going to be great by any stretch, but I don't think they're going to be embarrassed this year. I think their young players are going to show some signs, and I think there's going to be there's going to be like more debutants and stuff for them this coming week, and I just think like that's an exciting prospect again. And we saw last year with the Tigers, they had all these debutants in, and the Blues didn't really know how they all played, and it kind of worked in the Tigers' favor. So could be a similar case here for the Bombers, but I am still going to tip the Hawks. I just can't go past the Stars in the Park for.
Love that. I think it's going to be great. We've got the best Saturday 12:45 game of the year coming up.
Yeah, what the fuck? This is
Yeah.
a barnstormer.
The Dogs taking on the Giants. And if you penciled this in round one just before Saturday last week, and the Giants obviously hadn't had their result, I would have said the Dogs by a million.
Mm,
But um,
the Giants are still good.
the Giants are still good, and they don't mind playing the Dogs. It's a bit of a mini rivalry, as we've seen over the
That was
years.
what I was
So,
about to say. Always these games, they always have something. I think because there's so much animosity, it kind of levels the playing field a little bit. So if it needed to be leveled even more than what it already kind of has been after the Giants game, I think this is going to be a ripping matchup, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
yeah, I'm going to tip the Dogs, though. I think Marvel Stadium works in their favor, and you can't come off a massive win like you did against the Lions, and not back it up with that. I do hate that this is a 12:45 game, but looking at the other primetime slots, I can understand why.
There's some really good games happening of football happening later on this day. I'm still going to tip the Dogs as well. I think like even Sam Darcy isn't quite at full like he wasn't at full strength on Saturday. Like he didn't play to his absolute best. He could have a ripper. I think the Dogs at Marble. You say like you can't come off a game like the Lions, but if any team's going to do it, it's going to be the Western Bulldogs. They're very good at letting fans down when they seem to be unlet downable. So I will still tip the Dogs, but I think it's going to be a great game.
Hot stuff. Look forward to that. Nothing spells round one football and a Saturday 3:45 time slot at GMHBA, and the
My
Cats
favorite thing ever.
coming up against the Dockers in a game that I simply will not watch, but I will check it on the app.
Yep. I think this is going to be a
And
good game, though, even still.
I think so too. And I haven't seen Freo yet, but they are very, very impressive, I think,
Mm-hmm.
across preseason. Beating the Crows, and Josh Tracy looks like he's going to take another step, and they've got some exciting form with Murphy Reed and so forth. And the Geelong side is going to be interesting because do we, like you said, I don't really take away anything from the Cats in terms of my opinion of them
Mm.
with that Suns performance, but it does put the question there. But then again, I had the same fucking thing as Collingwood and GWS. They just know how to come back and say, don't discount
Yeah,
us.
they do. It's really
But if
upsetting.
Freo, yes, you say that evilly too. Yes, it's very upsetting. Very nice, very evil. That's a, that's a that's a niche reference. Anyway, I'm going to tip Freo. I think Freo, if they're going to be the Ruda this year, and they want to take another step, they've got to win this game. Well, not they've got to. It's not they must win, but like I think just winning these games are something that Freo are missing, and I've seen them pull it off before. So I think I'm going to tip Freo.
I wish I could make this tip later in the week. Like I wish this could be one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know right now. Let me figure out if Jeremy Cameron's playing first because I know like if Jeremy Cameron's playing, I'd tip the Cats here, but I don't know if he is or not. In the interest of being different, I'm going to tip the Cats. Uh, I think this is like genuinely a coin flip. Like I think the Dockers probably look better, but that GMHBA on a Saturday, Cats they're always very good and they've always been good there. So I I'm going to back in the Cats to rebound after their tough loss to the Suns.
Fantastic. I love being indifferent to you. It's always nice. Um, we have genuine two blockbusters coming up on Saturday night. It makes me
Oh,
almost to the point where I don't want to make any plans and I just want to have a split screen and sit there and watch these two games. Because they are
bangers.
genuine, yeah, belters. These are going to be phenomenal. The Swans take on the Lions at the SCG, coming off a ripping performance, like we said, with Carlton, against Carlton. And then obviously the Lions, they want to be, yeah, I think they want to make a bit of a statement here with Hugh
They
McGluggage
weren't even
injured with,
bad. They weren't even bad on Saturday.
no,
Yeah, Hugh McGluggage is out, so we'll be out, I think. So yeah,
coming against the Lions going 0-2. Well, I'm not going to really, again, we're like, oh, Lions 0-2. For any other team that's like,
they did this last year.
the Lions, they basically start 0-5 and then get going. Um, but SCG, I think I still back the Lions to be. Yeah, like you said with this one, I wasn't 100% convinced it was just one quarter of football. So an early taste of what I think could be the grand final this year, potentially. It's the Lions. I back the Lions. I'm a Lions fanatic. I think I can see them doing this.
Yeah, this is another one where I'm like, wish I could see what's going to happen here. I think this is really fucking hard. I reckon I've just jumped back and forth 15 times in the last 20 seconds.
Do you want me to talk longer?
No, I'm gonna tip the Swans. I'm gonna tip the Swans. Uh, I just think they've got some serious weapons. If Hugh McCluggage doesn't play, which I don't think he will, I think that is a big loss to the Lions. Like I said before about Ed Richards, I think Hugh McCluggage is that kind of player where he really is a barometer for that team. So I'm going to tip the Swans, and I think Charlie's going to kick quite a few.
Interesting. Interesting, especially with Harris Andrews. That's a good one. I like it. It's going to be a nice one. Collingwood Adelaide, and I would have straight up said Adelaide coming into the year before Sunday night happened against
Now
them. But
I don't
now,
know.
now I'm like, fuck, crying out loud. And because I really don't like either of these teams from a personal standpoint, being a Port fan, for crying out loud, man, why are I going to put good games on? To the Adelaide Crows.
I'm tipping the
This
Magpies.
okay. Yeah, no, I'm gonna take the Magpies. I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind. Yeah, I just think if Adelaide win, like Frio, right?
Yeah.
Adelaide, big game, first up, MCG. You want to win, right? You want to come out strong. If they're going to be the big top four side, they want to be, and everyone's sort of riding them off not to be, and we're predicting them that they will be there. I just think Adelaide, this is a game that Adelaide just have to win for, not for the sake of the season. I'm more saying like it's a personal statement. It's an internal belief thing.
Yeah.
You can go over, play the Pies at the MCG. It's going to be probably 65,000 there, 70,000. I think you want to win that type of
100%.
game. And it's same as I said for Freo. So it's a watch. I'm going to take the Pies to be safe. But yeah, I think be a
That's
good
an
game.
interesting one. That is, you're right, I think, but like Collingwood have had their number. Collingwood know how to beat Adelaide anywhere, really. And especially coming off a win like that last week. If they get one of Moore or Howe back, I think that also just adds to it again. So yeah, I can't go against the Pies. I saw it firsthand on Sunday, and they're always going to be pretty good. And I think Adelaide might just be, yeah. Like I'm not saying that Adelaide are going to be bad, but I think they might not quite be ready just yet to beat this Pies team.
I love how we go from this big build up to round one. You've got the Carlton Richmond stand alone on the Thursday night. It flows through to a sort of a rivalry in Essendon Hawthorn. You get the big Marvel game on
The
12:45 on a
Saturday games are
Saturday.
all bangers. Saturday,
The Saturday,
all 8 teams playing on Saturday could be like the top 8 of the ladder. Like, other than the Gold
uh,
Coast, it's like 8 of the top 9. Like,
it is a wrestling fans will enjoy this, but this is a Sheamus Saturday. Banger after banger after banger after banger. Right.
yeah,
And then you go out afterwards, you're like, fuck yeah, what a great Saturday. I watched so much footy. I enjoyed everything. I'm a bit hungover. I'm going to wake up Sunday. There's more footy to come. And then I look at the games that are on and I've gone, we're going to kick it off with Marvel and it's North v Port. And I flow into Melbourne versus St Kilda, which probably could be a good game, but
but it's in front
unless
of
you,
30,000 at the G.
yeah, and it's just, we're not even present. And then you finish it off with people first stadium with the Suns belting. I'm gonna start from the back and work our way.
Mm,
I'm just gonna get rid of the last game because there's no point. I'm tipping the Suns.
obviously, yeah,
Yep.
by like a million.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, I'm just gonna write that down. Anyway, so
yeah.
Port take on the uh the the Kangaroos, and it's nice that we have a sort of a GT Saturday, a Sunday, which would be nice. So
Mm.
um, just just hope to God we don't lose to North.
The one redeeming quality about this game is the fact that it's the first time Horn Francis played in Melbourne against North Melbourne. That's pretty exciting. That's an exciting thing to happen. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm sure there's going to be some biff, and that's always fun. So that's a good redeeming quality out of this game, out of this fucking 110 Marvel game, which is never fun at all. But I don't think Port lose. I'm actually shocked, to be honest, that North $2.36. That feels like it's unders. that feels crazy to me. I don't think North, I know people aren't really putting Port on this sort of high pedestal thing, but I think North are a step below Port Adelaide. Like, I don't like, there's no players in North Melbourne that I think are on the level of a Butters and a Rosie and a Horn Francis and a Georgiades. Like, I don't think there's anybody in North Melbourne that can really do that. Sheasel and Larky maybe. So, like, yeah, I think Port Adelaide win this. It would shock me if they didn't. And Port Adelaide are a pretty good marble team, which has always been the case for them. Obviously, new coach now, so it might be a little bit different, but they've been a pretty good marble team over time. So yeah, Port Adelaide for me.
Yeah, I'm obviously going to tip Port. I just would like to say I don't think it'll be a blowout, or I think it might be a close game. Actually, it could be. I'm as a Port fan. If you're coming into this expecting to smash North Melbourne,
Don't.
I don't want you to, because
Yeah.
one, you'll be really disappointed. I think just getting the win, coming out of that one without any suspensions, because Horn Francis will want to belt the living shit out of all the North people. And North Twitter is very, very funny because they talk big because they're like, oh, I can't wait to see Horn Francis at Marvel. I'm going to be like, it's 1,300 of you.
I was going to say there's 4 people there. No, it's round one. They might actually have a decent crowd. They'll start the year strong, maybe.
Oh, you'll know if they put Horn Francis on the game day graphic.
That's pretty funny, to be fair. I like that. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the prodigal son returns.
He's like the 4th best player at Port Adelaide, and they're like, "Nah, we'll put him on."
Yeah.
Do you want to put
Yeah.
Butters on there?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
No, 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 not put your hat in the ring to I get arguably the best player in the comp, and put some contract towards him. No, no, no. We're gonna have a scene from the Simpsons movie where the mob are literally outside with the pitchforks and everything going, kill, 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 kill,
It's
kill. Pictures of Horn Francis with crosses through it.
gonna be good.
Yep. St Kilda, Melbourne, MCG Sunday at 2:45. I don't know.
This is an interesting
No,
one to me.
I'm internally confident about St Kilda, and what I saw Sunday night. I was like, no different opinion to me in terms of what I think will happen to them this year. It's a long season, and things will always end up going right when you put the processes in place. So I still believe everything will be possible. I think St Kilda. This is the funny thing about opening round is it's like you come out of an opening round, you're like, oh, if you lose, you're already that loss
You're already up
behind.
against it. Yeah, you're already up against
Yes.
it.
So going 0-2 at round one is it almost feels like a mental disadvantage when it's
100%.
such a long season. And Melbourne showed a lot of exciting prospects in in the preseason. I still think also the Saints getting back-to-back MCG games is unheard of.
Bizarre, right? Usually we only get
Mm.
two in a year. We got two back to back.
Mm.
What the fuck? Yeah,
And it's only
strange.
been one round.
Yeah. The other one didn't even count. Weird. Yeah.
I'm tipping the Saints. What are you feeling for this one, my brother?
Yes, I'm still tipping the Saints in this one, but I think I said this last week. I think I'm higher on Melbourne than a lot of people are. Like you said, I think
Mm.
they're actually pretty exciting. Like I said, Cozzy Pickett is one of those players that he's extremely talented. He could drag him over the line in ways that I think not a lot of players in the league can. So like I don't think this will be a belting or anything of the sort. I think Melbourne will come out firing. They'll really want to start the year on a high note. They're not. I don't think they're the type of team, especially since like Melbourne fans have dealt with a lot of really bad football. That late 2000s Melbourne team is in folklore as an atrocious team that it nearly destroyed Melbourne. Like it nearly destroyed the club and the fans and everything like that. And I think they have set like a conscious effort in their mind to be like, we don't want to do that again. We don't want to be a team that is that bad again, kind of thing. So I think they're going to come out red hot and being like, we aren't here to just make up the numbers. Like we want to be a wild card team. We want to be a team that can do better. So I still think they will really perform. But like I said before, I don't think the Saints played bad on Sunday at all. I think they were just beat by a more experienced, more professional Collingwood team. And you give it you take away a little bit of that talent. I think the Saints still perform really well. They'll be without Ron Marshall with the concussion, but I think the Saints will still perform really well. I'm still going to the Saints.
I'd be surprised if he didn't, man.
Would be a shock.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. We got the fucking Giants a week after that. That'll be tough.
I know. And then you got Brisbane, and then you got a bye, and you got Port. Fuck, you could be 0-4.
Then we got Adelaide on 5.
Nah, stuff them. You can win that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the tips round one's coming up. I'm very excited.
Stoked. Looking forward to having, like I said, looking forward to having some Sunday footy and some Saturday footy and just footy through the day. It's just exciting to me. So looking forward to that.
I'm very excited to work on Sunday, watch Port, stress the living shit out of it, and then watch the others.
It's gonna be good.
Time to get back into the swing of things where 23
Absolutely.
blokes will have my mental health in their hands, basically. So I can do it right, will you?
Win the game, would you? Oh,
One final thing before we finish up. It's going to be a thing that I'm going to be doing this year because I want goals, and I saw a lot of teams scoring over 100 this weekend, and we've got the Coleman medal race up in front of me. And I know it's only been 5 games. Boy, did we have some goals. So currently, the tally for 2026 in the top 10, we had Jake Stringer obviously leading the way with 5 goals. We got 9, 13, 17, 21, 25, 28, 31, 34, 37. We're currently at 37 goals. There's so many blokes that kicked 3 goals on the weekend, by the way, that I generally could include them all and cheat code that, but I'm not going to.
oh
So
yeah.
currently
No.
at 37 goals.
Well, if you times 37 goals times the 25 rounds of the year that happen, round 1 through 24, and then the opening round, you're currently on track for 925 goals for your top 10 in the Coleman. Don't think that'll happen, but you never know. Actually, sorry, you minus one of those rounds because everyone has a bye after this. So 888 goals.
I'm going to fucking piss it in.
Fantastic. Also, really funny that
like
Jake Stringer's
goals.
leading the Coleman. Anyway, really niche top 10 in the Coleman. Jake Stringer's in there, Ollie Dempsey's in there, Joel Amarty's in there, Jake Riccardi's in there, and Justin McInerney is in there.
Ollie Dempsey did that in a quarter too, by the way.
Yeah, he actually did that in like 3 minutes. So,
Actually, I remember you turning to me and saying that.
I was like, I'm pretty sure he just kicked three in 3 minutes. But anyway.
Bailey Humphrey kicked four in about five in the opening minute. And then, yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
it's good.
Anyway, I like goals. I like footy and I like doing this podcast with you. So I'm going to end it on that beautiful note.
I like doing this podcast with you too. Thanks everyone for joining us. See you next week for hopefully double dub time.
Double dub time. And in the words of Dennis Cometti, fairy tales do come true.